Hello, everybody. Welcome to this latest episode of FPL Affairs, the podcast that discusses our 9-month-long love affair with FPL, including the ins and outs that keep us awake at night. In this video, we take a super speedy review of my team from game week 36 before moving on to a full review of 37, my team, FPL Weasel's team, and what lessons we have learnt. Before we get started, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for all of our content. And if you click the thumbs up and subscribe, then you'll get notifications for any content we do between now and the rest of the season. Anyway, let's get cracking.
And there's Mo Salah. There goes Haaland. He's on his way again. He's hungry. He scored. Ice cold precision from Palmer. Oh, Saka! That is a diamond of a goal.
Greetings, viewers, and welcome to another episode of FPL Affairs with me, Matt, aka the FPL Affairs veteran. First of all, I'd like to apologise for the lack of episodes last week. This was largely down to me being poorly and work reasons and family reasons and so on, which, anyway, we'll start off with a super quick review of my game week 32 team performance before we are joined again by FPL Weasel, who shares his thoughts and his take on game week 37 before we clarify what we've learned and the admin awards for both weeks. Anyway, let's get cracking. So our game week 36 and 37 review. With major note on the thumbnails, had to put Jamie Vardy and KDB, just legends. And that term is thrown about a lot, but those two definitely. So my game week 36 review, 32, was a bit long ago, but anyway. Yep, I braved it with Martinez in goal instead of Raya and was rewarded with a clean sheet and 8 points. Bradley a solitary point. Guardiola was 6. Munoz with a nice, beautiful haul of 11. Start with an assistant bonus. Bowen with his what is now customary goal. And Burmo with an assist and clean sheet. And he was my captain, so 12 points for him. Salah's ball draw, solitary 2-pointer, and the bonus of the front three. He's at blanked with 2. Marmouche, solitary 1-pointer off the bench, and Whistle with a 1-pointer after blanking against Ipswich and getting booked as well. So not great in that respect, but all out I got 58 points, which was just enough for a small green. My safety score had been 56, so green by 2 points, bench of 14, and I moved up from 135.5k to 128k, so a change of 5%, which was about a game week rank of 1.5 million. So yeah, and Paul did share his thoughts.
My thoughts on your team last week, Matt, is that I would have played the exact same 11. It was obviously unfortunately didn't hear the news that Marmouche was benched and played Rodgers instead, so you'd have got an extra 5 points. But obviously the lesson you can probably learn is that never bench Rodgers because you can guarantee a return. And obviously it seems to be this year's Saka, who seems to play every single game.
Unfortunate experience of where I wasn't able to monitor the team leagues and therefore missed the Marmouche benching. Had I caught the Marmouche benching, I would have just played Rodgers and benched Marmouche, which would have been the most likely. Alternatively, it would have been Marmouche out transfer. I was already tripled up on Villa, so I wouldn't have been able to make an early move for Watkins. But a small green, nonetheless. And the admin's awards for that week, the good went to Mr. Jack Ashbury, who braved the Kevin Sharder intake, transferred him in and captained him as well. So the only member of the admin who captained Sharder and reaped the rewards, as Sharder was the only scorer in the game. And so, yeah, well done, Jack, with your 22 points. The bad, well, goes to somebody whose transfers did not work out because they decided against trusting Crystal Palace. So that goes to the FPL Weasel himself, who transferred out Eze and Mateta and transferred in De Bruyne and Wissa. And by making 2 transfers, Paul took a hit of -4. So with a -13 points deficit, along with the -4, those 2 transfers cost Paul 17. Not great. Not a great decision at all. And then moving on to the ugly. And the ugly really goes to somebody whose rank is gradually red after red after red after red. And now this is what I have a bone to pick with him about, is the person is accusing me of laying a curse on him because since he made a guest appearance on the FPL Affairs pod, he's had a red arrow every week and he's blaming me for cursing him. Unfortunately, my mystic magical powers and wand are out of action at the moment, despite the number of greens I'm getting. So the ugly and grumpy goes to the form of Mr. Kieran Ball, aka the FPL Affairs Crystal Balls.
Call you son of a biscuit!
Yeah, so in those 4 weeks, dropping from 11.5k to just inside 56k. Anyway, that was 36. Let's move on to this past game week of 37. Paul, your team.
I got 59 points in week 37. I played 3-4-3 as I usually do. So Flecken, my goalkeeper, got 2 points. Milankovic, it was also subbed in for Digne, who got me 8 points. A lot of people said that I was lucky there, but Digne, if he had played, would got 6 clean sheet points anyway. Muniz got a disappointing 1 point. Gardefol lost his clean sheet point in 96 minutes to give me only 2 points. My midfield 4 were Rogers, 6 points. Bowen with a great 8 points again for his 5th return in a row. And who's my first captain. Burma, my captain, got 10 points. And Odegaard, who a lot of people said I should have benched, got another assist for me and got me 6 points. And my front 3, Watkins got me 5 points. Wizard got a brilliant 10 points. And Mateta, who was benched, got a solitary point for me. And my bench, Pope got me 3 points. Salah, who I said I was going to bench, only got me 2 points. Digne didn't play, and Hudson got 0 points. I got 59 points in week 37. My safety score was 55 points, so I was 4 points green arrow. I'm currently 8 points off the top 100k, which I'm aiming for. My old rank was 130k, and I'm up to just under 118k with 1 week to go.
Thanks, Paul, for that. Great for another green arrow. Thinking of decisions, I've got to say round of applause and credit for the bravery of benching Mo Salah for sure. I would not have had the bottle. I would have most probably played him over. That's a tricky one. I would probably been weighing up between him and Odegaard, to be fair. Or Mateta. No, actually, I think I would have played Salah over Mateta because of the cup rotation. The FA Cup final, Palace just that worry of Mateta being benched, which he was in their Tuesday night fixture. But otherwise, generally, I agree with it. I went with the same captain in Burmo. Well, we'll move on to mine and lucky year of Milankovic coming off the bench. that 8-pointer. Was also brave in a way is I decided to roll my transfer so I'd have two frees going into the final week. So I thought that would be more beneficial. And I was very much split between Arsenal defence and Villa defence and whether to play Raya in goal and Konsa in defence, or to play Martinez in goal and Kivior in defence, or to do double defence on Arsenal or double defence on Villa. But partly my Newcastle bias and owning Isak, I decided to go with double Villa, which the Konsa pick paid off. Martinez just a solitary point less than Raya, but I'll take that. 6 point, getting in 6 points rather than 7. Guardiola was always going to play, but his ownership so high now, whatever he gets doesn't necessarily boost my rank a huge amount. Munoz, it was disappointing that despite playing the 90 minutes, that conceding 2 goals to Wolves cost him a point. And despite Palace getting 4, he didn't get any of them. Wasn't involved in any of them, so that was frustrating. I did play Salah, contrary to you, Paul, who was a small spy for me. Expected ownership of 101%, so 1% of Salah's points would have cost me, but the fact he got only 2, it made pretty much no difference at all. Like Paul, like self, I captained Mbeumo for the frustrating 5 points of just of the 1 goal, and I worked out that with captaincy, because he missed the penalty, he was punished 2 points for missing the penalty. Had he have scored it, those 2 points wouldn't have been deducted. He would have got he would have got 5 points for his second goal of the game. So that's an extra 7 on top of the 5 he got, which is 12. He would have most probably got the 3 bonus, 15. So he would have got a 15-pointer likelihood, doubled for captaincy to 30. So yeah, that missed penalty was a 20-point swing, which would have been very, very beneficial. I know what the rest of the admin are saying, and they're going to be like, "You greedy son of a biscuit," in a polite way. They wouldn't be quite so nice. Bowen with his customary goal. So what? Eat finished. Just now, he knocked the ball up with his chest, swung in, left boot, cracking finish, and I think his ownership's just going to go up and up for the final week because they're playing Ipswich, and really West Ham don't score much, but when they do, Bowen's generally either creating it or scoring it. So, yeah, I got the points from him. Sarr, I ummed and ahed about whether to play him or Marmoush. In the end, I decided to play Sarr, who got an assist for the first goal and managed to get just over the hour, so he did get both appearance points. Rodgers his assist in their game against Spurs. My little bit of bench jam was with Isak's injury and not being selected. I got Marmoush off the bench, so his 35-yarder. And therefore bonus points. At 8 points, I managed to get off, and with his goal and an assist and 10 points. So, yeah, reading through that, Martinez 6 points, Consus 15, Guardiola 2, Munoz 1, Salah 2, Mbemo captain 10, Bowen 8, Sarr 5, Rogers 6, Marmoush 8, Wissa 10. So what was kind of convenient was my spy blanked and two highly owned defenders blanked. The rest all returned, giving me a total of 73 points. We'll go through that 73 points was 18 above my safety score of 55. Give me a total now of 2,460. And my rank shot up from 127.5k to 86k. So that was a 32.48% rise. The game week rank was just outside the top 100,000. And if my memory serves me correctly, I am just over 20 points behind the 50k mark, which had Mbeumo's penalty gone in, I would have been on the cusp of 50k. So that's frustrating and gives me lots of pennies for thoughts going into the final game week and what to do, and keep confidential as to how risque or how safe I will take. Will I go to try and close down that 50k rank, or will I just try to solidify staying inside the top 100,000, that is, rather than the top 100? Because otherwise I'll be celebrating with pom-poms and sparkly banners and jumping up and down and doing pirouettes. Anyway, thoughts on that, apart from the Salah playing, Paul?
Well done for your team in week 37, Matt. I would have played the exact same 11 players that you started, and an amazing score of 73 points.
Bravery difference with Salah, but yeah. Anyway, moving on, quite a few things we've learned this week, but we'll go through the admin awards, the good, the bad, ugly for game week 37. The good goes to, well, technically former admin Ben Steers for bringing in and going with the romantic notion that is Jamie Vardy and laying captaincy on him. Almost getting behind me and my team of the week total of 73. Ben finished, having played his free hits as it goes this week, on 71, so just 2 points off. Now, this, I apologise, viewers, for being a bit of a cop-out, was I really struggled with the bad and the ugly this week. I looked at captaincy options, I looked at transfer ins, and there were lots of similarities, lots of Mbeumo captaincies or Watkins captaincies. Transfers in weren't necessarily, there weren't any out of the ordinary one, apart from one, actually, which was Bruno Fernandes to Parma. So I'm sort of giving a bad/ugly to the FPL Affairs master, Mr. Jack Lucas. His game week score total was just 37, and he was therefore 18 points behind his safety score. So he's now dropped over the last few weeks down to 165k. Jack, your title of master is rocky and wearing thin for next season. It may need reviewing, but we shall see, especially as the veteran has shot past you, waving. Although, to be fair, as a new parent, Jack might try to lay the claim that he hasn't had sufficient time to focus on his fantasy team. I wouldn't believe that. I think he has. He's just gone for differential decisions and panicked into the last moments. Anyway, lessons learned from 37. First thing I want to start with is to congratulations to Crystal Palace for winning the FA Cup and Spurs for winning the Europa League. 2 more birds to make this the year of the birds with trophies. Liverpool with the Liverbird winning the league, winning the Premier League. Newcastle, the Magpies, winning the Carabao Cup. Palace the Eagles winning the FA Cup, and Spurs the Cockerels winning the Europa League. And what you may not see in places is Leeds' older nickname of the Peacocks, and Leeds won the championship. Yet another bird. So hats off and round of applause to those teams. Now, how does that impact us with FPL? Is I would probably say going into the final game, there's likely to be heavy rotation from both Palace and Spurs. I think looking at the rotations from Palace's game on Tuesday, Sarr played an hour, Eze played 9 minutes. I expect Sarr to be benched on Sunday and Eze to start. That's my guess. As for up front, I wouldn't actually be surprised if Nketiah started again and so forth. Spurs, I don't have a Scooby-Doo so much with Spurs and Ange because they'll just be celebrating off the plane from Bilbao and they're in the Champions League. So what's it matter whether they finish 16th or 17th in the Premier League? But anyway, I'll cover that more in the Game Week 38 transfer plans and team selection video, which is structured slightly different this week. Secondly, what I want to mention is the contrasting farewells for Jamie Vardy, Kevin De Bruyne, and Trent Alexander-Arnold. Vardy, the romantic notion of 200th goal for Leicester in his 500th game for Leicester. The script was written at home to Ipswich. It was always going to happen. And to be fair, I did consider bringing Vardy in for Marmoush, and I might have done had I have known that Marmoush had been benched. So it could have been Vardy in. It could have been bringing Evan Nilsson in, spoiler alert, a week early. Or it could have been rolling and playing Rodgers. But Vardy got, unsurprisingly, such a positive reaction and celebration and honour. Got a good round of applause. And what I think actually was quite funny when they did the lap of the pitch afterwards, that his daughter was quite confidently strolling around applauding the crowd, but doing it independently, not completely glued to her dad the whole time or shy. She was lapping it up. So credit to her. KDB as well, with the banners and the signs and the cheering, and his children on the pitch, his wife on the pitch, and very much deserved of a Premier League legend. So we shall see where he ends up next season as he's leaving. But then there's Trent. Very much the contradiction of the other two. Trent in the home game in Game Week 36, when he came off the bench, he was booed. When he left the pitch, he was booed. We've got 3 admin members who are Liverpool fans who haven't necessarily shown complete enthusiasm honouring him and his 20 years at Liverpool. Game Week 37, Trent was benched once again, unsurprisingly, because Slot had said he wanted to, shown honesty in a press conference, so he wanted to give Bradley the starts and the minutes to prep him for next season. But as a consequence, the away match in Game Week 37, if I recall correctly, Trent did not even come off the bench for a single minute. He didn't play. But then, considering they'd been lapping it up, partying in Dubai, I'm not overly surprised with that either. With Slot saying that the real Liverpool will show in Game Week 38. The discussion of whether Trent will make an appearance for that we'll save and cover in the transfer plans video. And finally, it's the form of the premiums, really. At the moment, I've got 4.4 million in the bank that going into the final game, you just think, well, I've got it, may as well spend it getting in the premiums. But the current form that Salah, Saka, Palmer, Haaland, Foden, KDB, just all Son, all of those, the minutes they're getting, the returns they're, not getting. I had initially been planning to bring in Saka, but since Arsenal beat Newcastle, they are now pretty much padlocked in as runners-up, second spot in the league. They've got significantly less to play for because they've already got Champions League position, they've already got second, and although most places, just to clarify, are saying, oh yes, Arsenal are bagged second, it is possible, following Man City's win over Bournemouth on Tuesday, Man City can bag second spot, provided they win at Fulham considerably. Arsenal lose to Southampton, and it is basically I think 7 to 10 goal swing in Man City's favour. So very, very, very unlikely. Possible, but very unlikely. So with that in mind, I'm less convinced that Saka will start, or at least get considerable minutes. I'm weighing up whether to still get Saka in, which will be a popular move, or whether to have a bit of fun and have a bit of a punt and try to get in a differential of some kind to get closer to that 50k rank. I'll go on about the other premiums when I go through the fixtures in the team selection video. But premium form this season, the template's been doing well, but then a large chunk of that template have been mid-priced to low-priced. The template, other than Salah for the first 2/3 to 3/4 of the season, and Haaland for the first 7 to 10 game weeks, the premiums haven't done great this season. So I'm very intrigued to see how they'll be priced for next season. Anyway, enough of my ramblings. Paul, are there any lessons you've learned from game week 37?
What I learned from week 37 is I should go with my gut feeling more often. I took a huge gamble by benching Salah, and it paid off. He only got 2 points, and his recent form is absolutely shocking. He's only got 28 points now in his last 8 game weeks, and he's totally trolled Liverpool with his new contract.
Ever-recurring lesson of going with your gut. Paul's saying, and he actually did do it. So well done, Paul, for that, for actually going with your gut. Actually, thinking about it, I kind of did as well by going double Villa defence. And it almost paid off. Partly did with Conte, and Martinez was only a point off Raya, so that's manageable. But yeah, premiums will be having to think on whether to go with gut going into the next week, which will come up with the video. But hope you found this video insightful of some kind. Let us know in the comments any lessons you learnt from game week 37 that you'll take through into game week 38. How you can get in touch and how you can like and subscribe is on x.com/FPL Affairs. Facebook group, easiest way other than the link, which will be put in the description, video description and channel description. Fancy Premier League FPL 1, just go on Facebook and type in group search FPL Affairs and you'll find us. We should pop up quite easily. Our YouTube channel handle at FPL Affairs, where you can access all our pre-existing videos, our Idiot's Guide series on the different chip usage, which will hopefully still be applicable for next season, but we'll rejig and redo those, and the Spotify link as well. So yeah, if you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. Click that thumbs up. If you subscribe to the channel as well, click the bells, and then you should get a bell notification of every time we release a new video. And yes, we're going into game week 38. We've got the 38 transfer plans and team selection video coming out either later today in terms of video release, with the deadline being on Sunday, as all the fixtures, all 10, kick off at 4 p.m. on Sunday afternoon. So thank you, FPL Weasel, who will be sharing his team and transfer plans in that video. But all that's left to say is keep your final FPL affair decisions at how you're going to go. Are you going to play safe? Are you going to go differential? Find out what we do and levels of risk elements taken in the next FPL affairs video. Keep your decisions under wraps.